In the bustling streets of Ajay, Linda, a single mother running a humble noodle stall, offers a free meal to a frail, homeless man, unaware he's tied to one of the nation's most powerful CEOs. This simple act of kindness unravels a web of betrayal, ambition, and hidden truths, transforming her ordinary life into an extraordinary journey. As her fiancé's deceit and a rival's sabotage threaten to shatter her dreams, Linda's compassion opens unexpected doors to love, success, and a family she never imagined. Will her heart, forged in hardship, rewrite her destiny? What would you do if you learned the homeless person you aided was linked to one of the nation's most influential CEOs? Most people ignore hungry strangers daily. But Linda, a struggling single mother running a roadside noodle stall, made a seemingly small decision. She offers a simple meal to an elderly man outside her stand. Unbeknownst to her, this act of compassion would open doors she never dreamed possible and unveil a truth that would transform her ordinary life into something remarkable. Music. The sun was just peeking over Ajay's rooftops, yet the streets buzzed with honking danfos, eager hawkers, and the familiar sounds of daily life restarting. Linda stood at her modest noodle stall, stirring a steaming pot. The aroma of pepper, garlic, and spices drifted, enveloping the morning in a warm, inviting scent. Her long braids were neatly tied back, her apron slightly worn but tidy. In her 20s, years of hardship had etched a quiet resilience in her gaze. Her daughter Wendy sat on a plastic stool nearby, her small legs dangling as she nibbled on Puff Puff. At 7, Wendy's sharp wit and clever sayings often caught people off guard. Linda stirred the noodles with practiced ease. Nearly done, she murmured to herself. Then, a frail man appeared at the stall's edge. His clothes were dusty, too large, his steps hesitant, as if unsure of his destination. His face was weathered, his eyes heavy with years and sparse with joy. "Excuse me? Could I have a bit?" he asked, voice rough and tentative. Linda glanced up, startled. He wasn't a familiar face, not from the neighborhood. She noticed his empty hands and his averted gaze. "I'm sorry," he added hastily. "I've no money, and I haven't eaten since yesterday." Without pause, Linda turned, scooped a hot bowl of noodles, and topped it with an extra boiled egg. "Here," she said, offering it gently. "Eat. No charge." The man blinked, taken aback. "Thank you. Bless you, my child." He sat unsteadily on the bench by the stall, and Wendy eyed him curiously, saying in her small, earnest voice, "Mommy says old food can make your stomach hurt. This is fresh." The man glanced at the girl and gave a soft chuckle, a sound that cut through a long quiet. His hand shook as he took his first bite, closing his eyes. It's the best I've eaten in years." Linda smiled warmly. "You're welcome, sir. Come back anytime." For a moment, the morning chaos faded, the shouting drivers, honking horns, and nearby smoke all stilled, wrapped in the quiet dignity of a freely given meal. As he ate slowly, almost with reverence, tears welled in his weary eyes. "Thank you, young lady. People don't do this anymore." Linda nodded kindly and returned to her pot, unaware that this frail man would alter her life forever. He finished every noodle, sipping the broth as if it were sacred. Wiping his mouth with his sleeve, eyes still misty, he said, "God bless you, my daughter," hand over heart. Linda smiled. "No trouble, sir. Rest a bit before you go." He nodded but stayed seated, gazing at the ground, lost in thought. When he approached, offering a small sachet of water. "Here, Grandpa, drink this," she said softly. "Thank you, dear. What's your name?" "Wendy." "That's a beautiful name, Wendy." Linda watched silently, a strange feeling stirring. Not unease, but a faint, unplaceable familiarity, as if he'd once had everything and lost it. Then, a black SUV pulled up across the street. Two sharply dressed men stepped out swiftly. One, in sunglasses, moved with purpose, scanning before spotting the old man. "Papa Joseph," he called, rushing over. The old man looked up slowly. "So you found me." The man in sunglasses exhaled in relief. "Sir, we've searched everywhere. Let's go home." But Papa Joseph shook his head. Not until I see that girl again. The man frowned. Which girl? Papa Joseph pointed at Linda. She gave me food. Kindness. Not just the meal, but how she gave it. The assistant looked at Linda, puzzled. You don't know who he is? He asked. Linda glanced between them, now uneasy. I just gave him noodles like I do for anyone. The assistant stepped back, speaking into an earpiece. We've got him. He's safe. Then, to Linda, Ma, can we take him now? He's been missing. His family's worried. Papa Joseph waved a hand. Tell my son, Austin, I won't leave until he meets her. She's the kind of woman a man should marry. Linda's eyes widened. Sir, she said, half laughing, half anxious. Don't laugh, child, Papa Joseph said softly. Your heart. It's what we've forgotten to cherish. He rose slowly, leaning on an assistant. Tell Austin what I said. He needs to meet her himself. The men guided Papa Joseph to the SUV, and it vanished into traffic. Linda stood still, stunned. When he looked up, Mommy, who was that, Grandpa? Linda shook her head. I'm not sure, but I feel we'll see him again. She returned to her stall, stirring her pot with an odd sensation growing inside her. As dusk fell, Linda and Winnie walked home from the stall. The streets were calmer, with kids playing football and women packing up their wares. The air carried roasted corn and dust. Linda held Wendy's hand past small shops and kiosks. Mommy, Wendy said, looking up, can our new house have a big window? Linda smiled. Yes, love. Maybe even a little garden if we're lucky. They entered their compound, a worn building with peeling paint and noisy neighbors. Their apartment was tiny, a single room with a mattress, a curtain door, and a small table with 2 chairs. But it was clean. There's Michael, Linda's fiancé, the man she'd waited 7 years to marry, lay on a mattress, shirtless, earphones in, glued to his phone. He didn't look up. Back now, he said flatly. Linda didn't answer immediately. She set her bag down, pulling out a white envelope. Michael, she said softly, the government paid for my father's demolished house. He sat up, yanking out his earphones. For real? She nodded. 2 million. Wendy gasped. 2 million. Yes, baby, Linda said, kneeling beside her. We can get a real house now. Wendy's face lit up, showing her small teeth. Mommy, I want a big house, but you shouldn't work so hard anymore. Linda hugged her tightly. I'll rest soon, I promise. Michael stood, mind racing. We need to act fast, he said. Good houses go quickly. Put it in my name, so agents take us seriously. Linda looked at him, hesitating. He noticed. What? Don't you trust me? She forced a smile. Of course. He kissed her cheek quickly. Good. I'll start looking tomorrow. We'll have our home soon. That night, after Wendy slept, Linda sat by the window, clutching the envelope. She should have been joyful, but a strange unease lingered. Far off, under a dim street lamp, Michael stood, phone ear. Yeah, he whispered. She got 2 million. Once the house is in my name, I'm done with her. He chuckled softly and hung up. The next evening, city lights twinkled like distant stars. In a small bar behind a fuel station, faint music played from old speakers and fried meat scented the air. Michael sat in a corner booth, relaxed, carefree. Across from him was Vanessa, sharp makeup, costly nails, eyes unblinking. Her tight yellow dress revealed a small baby bump. She sipped her malt, eyeing him impatiently. You said you'd talk to her by now, she said, tapping her glass. You promised we'd make it official once you got the money. Michael laughed lazily. Chill, babe. It's all in motion. Motion? Vanessa raised a brow. I'm carrying your kid, Michael. You promised money and a wedding. What's the plan? He leaned in, voice low. Simple. Linda got the 2 million. She's excited about a house. Vanessa leaned closer. And I'll get her to put it in my name. Then I'm out. Her lips parted in shock. You're really doing it? He smirked. She's waited 3 years. She can wait longer. What about her kid? Vanessa asked. The little girl? Michael shrugged. Not my issue. Not even mine. Vanessa shook her head, but stayed seated. When do I get what you promised? I didn't stay to be second to a noodle seller. Michael touched her belly. Once the house is mine, I'll propose. Wedding, shares, new place. You know you're the one I love. Vanessa stared, unreadable, then nodded slowly. Fine, but don't take too long. I'm not stupid, Michael. He leaned back, smiling. Don't worry. She won't see it coming. But sometimes, those we think are unaware are just shielding themselves, waiting for the right moment. The sun shone bright, the sky clear blue. Music drifted, and the aroma of grilled chicken and jollof rice wafted from a freshly painted bungalow. Neighbors in wrappers and slippers gathered, eyeing the canopy, chairs, and a banner reading, "Congratulations, Michael and family. New home, new start." Inside, Linda moved quietly, setting out drinks, refilling trays, adjusting Wendy's hair. In a simple yellow gown, her face glowed with hope. Today was meant to be special. "Mommy, are we rich now?" Wendy asked, legs swinging from the couch. Linda smiled softly. "Not rich, baby, just grateful." Outside, Michael mingled, shaking hands, laughing loudly, acting like the house was his vision, his effort. Linda watched, arms crossed. "He's trying," she whispered, but a nagging doubt lingered. As she arranged cups, a car horn blared outside. Heads turned. A sleek silver car pulled up. Vanessa stepped out, heels clicking, sunglasses gleaming, belly round in a tight yellow dress. Linda frowned. Vanessa marched in, owning the space, ignoring Linda, heading straight for Michael, who froze mid-sentence. "What's she doing here?" Linda whispered. Guest looked puzzled. Music played on, but the mood shifted. Vanessa cleared her throat, smiling sweetly. "Good afternoon, everyone. Just here to celebrate us." Michael stepped forward, panic clear. "Vanessa, not here. Too late," she said, voice rising. "I'm thrilled to show off the house Michael got me as my engagement gift." Gasps. Chairs shifted. A drink fell. Linda's tray crashed. "What did you say?" she asked, breathless. Vanessa tilted her head. "Oh, he didn't tell you? Michael and I are getting married. I'm pregnant. This house, my house, is part of it." Michael's lips moved, silent. Linda's world blurred. She stared at the house, bought with her sweat and patience. Her hand shook. When he stepped beside her, confused. "Mommy, why's everyone staring?" Linda looked at her daughter, then at the man she thought she loved. She opened her mouth, but a black SUV rolled in, cutting the tension. Austin stepped out, suited, calm, focused, scanning the scene before approaching Linda. "Miss Linda," he said softly. All eyes turned. "My grandpa, Papa Joseph, sent me. He insisted I meet you." Linda blinked, stunned. Austin glanced at Michael, Vanessa, then the banner. He nodded. "Interesting party," he said, "but it's built on a false foundation." Michael tried to smile. "Please, this isn't enough," Austin cut in sharply, then turned to Linda. "Can we talk?" The compound froze. Music stopped. Laughter faded. The air stilled. All eyes were on Austin, a stranger with quiet authority. Linda stood, hands trembling. Michael swallowed hard. "Sir, it's a misunderstanding." Austin turned slowly. "Misunderstanding?" Lying to a woman, stealing her money, and flaunting another at her housewarming is a misunderstanding. Michael stammered. Vanessa rolled her eyes. "Who are you? This isn't your business." Austin raised a brow. "I'm Austin Joseph." Gasps spread. Whispers hissed. "Joseph? The billionaire family? That's the famous CEO." Then another car pulled up. Papa Joseph stepped out, slow, with a familiar tired smile, eyes finding Linda. He nodded, as if expecting this. "There she is," he said. Austin stepped forward. "Papa, you shouldn't be out in this heat." Papa Joseph replied, "I said I wouldn't rest until you met her." He faced the crowd. "Listen well. This woman, pointing at Linda, fed me when I had nothing. No money, no name, no strength." Whispers grew. "She didn't ask who I was or for payment. She gave me fresh food and treated me like a person." He turned to Austin. "That heart is rare. You must know her. I'm glad you're here." Austin studied Linda, his face guarded, but a spark flickered in his eyes, a pull in his chest. She seemed familiar, though he didn't say it. Linda looked shaken, eyes darting between Austin, Papa Joseph, and the crowd. When he clung to her hand, Papa Joseph smiled at the girl. "Your mommy's heart is good. Grow up like her." When he nodded proudly. "I already am." Linda allowed a small smile, her first that day. That evening, after the guests left and the party's shame faded to whispers, Linda sat outside her stall. She hadn't gone home. She didn't know what home was anymore. Wendy slept on her lap, arms tight around her waist. Linda stared blankly, mind both empty and full. She didn't hear the car until Austin stepped out, alone. "Can we talk?" he said softly. She nodded. They sat at a bench by the stall, the street's quiet save for distant generators and crickets. Austin looked serious but warm. "Today was a lot," he said. Linda laughed tiredly. "That's one way to put it." Silence settled, then he continued. "My grandfather, Papa Joseph, hasn't smiled like this in months. He talks about you constantly since you gave him that meal." Linda looked at Wendy's sleeping face. "He's kind. I just did what anyone would." "No," Austin said. "He said people passed him by. Some insulted him. You made him feel human." He inhaled deeply, meeting her eyes. His dementia's worsening. "Some days he forgets me, stays silent. But since meeting you and Wendy, he talks nonstop. He's convinced I should marry you. Says it's helping his health." Linda listened silently. Austin paused, then added, "I don't believe in marriage, never have. And even if I did, I'm searching for someone else." Linda raised a brow but stayed quiet. "So, I'm asking for something practical. A 1-year contract," he said. "A marriage in name only." Linda leaned back, the word marriage echoing. "You want me to pretend to be your wife?" He nodded. "All legal, private, with clear boundaries. No pressure. Just make my grandfather happy for a year, then we part ways." Linda held Winnie tighter, silent. "You and your daughter will be cared for," he added. "Safe. No worries about money or Michael." That name stung. She looked at him. "And after the year?" "We end it quietly. No drama, just goodbye." Linda gazed at the night sky. She didn't crave wealth or grand homes. Only peace, safety for Wendy. This stranger offered that, not for her, but for Papa Joseph, who called her a treasure. She sighed. "I'll do it," she said softly. Austin looked surprised. "You sure?" She nodded. "For him, not you." He nodded respectfully. "That's enough." 2 days later, Linda stood before a grand gate. The iron gates parted, revealing a driveway lined with palms and neat hedges. Holding Wendy's hand, she pulled 2 small bags. Wendy's eyes sparkled at the white mansion, gleaming like a dream. "Mommy, we live here now." Linda smiled faintly. "For now, baby." Wendy skipped ahead, but Linda's heart was heavy. The house was stunning, but not hers. The air smelled of polish and soap, alien. She fell out of place. A guard greeted them. A maid took their bags. Inside, floors shone like mirrors, a chandelier gleamed, and sunlight poured through tall windows. When he spun, arms wide. "It's like a hotel." Linda stood, arms folded, questioning her choice. "Look who's here," a familiar voice called. Papa Joseph approached, smiling widely, steps slow but stronger. "My dear Linda, you brought my princess." Winnie ran to hug him. "Grandpa," he laughed, holding her tight. "I missed you." This house was too quiet. Linda smiled softly. "Good to see you, sir." "No sir here," he said. "Call me Papa." She nodded, still not at home. That evening, Austin met her in the sitting room, still in work clothes, tired but composed. "Settling in?" he asked. She nodded. "It's a lot." "Take your time," he said. "I've arranged something else." She looked curious. "There's a job at AJ Enterprises in fashion design. You said you used to sketch." She hesitated. "Yes, but long ago. I've never worked in a real fashion firm." "Everyone starts somewhere," he said. "Assistant designer. They expect you next week." She didn't know what to say. "You don't have to," he added. "But I thought you'd want something of your own, not just this house." She swallowed. "Thank you." A week later, Linda entered AJ Enterprises' bright lobby, its glass walls and cold air unfamiliar. Her borrowed shoes clicked on the floor, knees shaky, but she walked on. The design team, stylish women in heels, laughing at private jokes, greeted her. In her plain blouse and old skirt, she fell out of place. Settling at her desk, she heard whispers. "That's her, the street girl. Sold noodles in a J. Imagine her here." She ignored them, opened her sketchbook, and began anew. That evening, at her desk, she sketched a gown's neckline, the office quiet save for humming computers and clicking heels. She felt watched, not just by colleagues, but by Austin. Earlier, in his office, Austin scrolled a private file, jaw tight. He hadn't forgotten that night 7 years ago, a hotel, a drug drink confusion. Only a woman's voice and comfort lingered in memory, tied to a jade pendant. Blurry CCTV showed a silhouette, but her face was unclear. It haunted him. Now, Linda's voice, her gentleness, Wendy's look stirred something. A recent snapshot showed Wendy in the mansion's garden, wearing the jade pendant. His heart raced. Could it be? He needed answers. In the design room, tension brewed. Angela, senior designer, stood with crossed arms, lips tight, resenting Linda's presence. She approached Linda's desk, heels sharp, smile mocking. So focused, she said loudly. Drawing noodles and aprons? Others snickered. Linda paused, but didn't look up. Just a concept sketch, she said calmly. Angela smirked. Surprised you know the term, but you seem to know the right people. Linda stayed silent, her pencil moving confidently. Angela leaned closer. You might fool others, but not me. I won't let a street vendor play designer. Linda met her eyes, steady. I'm here to work, not play. Angela opened her mouth, but Austin's entrance froze the room. He rarely visited unannounced. All stood straighter, voices hushed. He scanned the room, then looked at Angela. Issue. She smoothed her dress. No, sir. Just guiding the new girl. His gaze shifted to Linda, silent, hands at her sides. Her quiet strength struck him. To Angela, he said, give feedback professionally, or we'll find someone who can. Her smile faded. Yes, sir. Austin left, leaving a heavy silence. Whispers followed. He defended her. He never does that. Angela stormed off. Linda sat, heart steady, sensing her life at AJ Enterprises shifting. 2 weeks later, Linda had settled into Austin's mansion. The marriage was formalized quietly. Signatures, no fanfare, a contract. Few knew, but secret spread. Across town, Vanessa stood by a window in Michael's dim apartment, arms crossed, lips tight. Michael scrolled his phone on the bed. Why so quiet? He asked. She spun. It's true. He looked up. What? Linda and Austin. Married. He blinked. No way. She tossed her phone at him. Blog post. A registry photo. Your ex, who you used, is now with a billionaire. And I'm stuck here with you. He read, eyes narrowing. Linda Johnson weds CEO Austin Joseph in private ceremony. He dropped the phone. This isn't real. Vanessa paced. I told you to hurry. Now she's rich, protected, and I'm here with nothing. He stood. Don't talk to me like that. Why? You're broke, weak, outsmarted by a noodle seller. His jaw clenched. She tricked me. Vanessa scoffed. No, you did that yourself. Get money, Michael. I didn't sign up for this. She slammed the door. Alone, Michael sat in the dark, phone glowing, scrolling Linda's new life, stepping from a company car, holding Wendy's hand beside Austin. She looked respected, and it burned him. She doesn't belong there, he muttered. A poor single mother, a street vendor. Who does she think she is? His grip tightened. I made her. 3 years, and now she's a billionaire's wife. He stood, breathing hard. This isn't over. He opened his laptop, eyes blazing. I'll ruin her. Show the world who she is. He smirked bitterly. Let's see how long a rich man stays with her when her past is exposed. His click started a war. Across town, Angela reread the blog post annoyed. Linda Johnson, CEO's wife. She stared at Linda's photo beside Austin. Simple, yet powerful. This is a joke, she muttered, slamming her laptop. It wasn't just gossip, it was an affront. 5 years at AJ Enterprises, sacrificing everything, and now a nobody was in her spotlight, eyeing her man. She wouldn't let it pass. Next morning, the design team met for a quarterly review. Linda sat quietly, flipping her sketchbook. Angela stood at the front, remote in hand, hiding a plan. Let's review the Afro-modern rebrand designs, she said. One stood out. The projector lit up. Linda's sketches appeared, unnamed. Angela's voice was smooth. It's clean but lacks soul. Colors are safe, structure predictable. It's fine. Linda's chest tightened, her work dismissed. Austin entered quietly. All straightened. Angela continued. I expected more, but it's a learning curve. Austin spoke. Who made it? Angela blinked. Junior desk. No name given. He looked at Linda. Yours. She met his eyes, steady. Yes. He stood, studying the screen. This blends African patterns with wearable lines. Respectful, not costume, strong yet subtle. Angela paled. He turned to the room. This is our campaign. Angela protested. Sir, no. Final decision, he said. Guests hushed. The next week, AJ Enterprises buzzed. International clients from London and South Africa were coming. Only top designers would present. Linda was chosen. Angela seethed, unwilling to let a noodle seller shine. 2 days before, Angela used a borrowed badge to enter the design vault, swapping fabric tags, removing Linda's notes, deleting a mood board. But Linda, arriving early, noticed. She didn't panic, rewriting her pitch, using her old sketchbook, starting fresh. When clients arrived, models wore Linda's bold, grounded designs. She stepped forward, no slides, just a story. These aren't just clothes, she said softly. They're memories of women carrying water, walking like queens, men with nothing, proud in Sunday shirts. I didn't study in Paris. I learned on the streets, seeing beauty in struggle. Silence, then applause. A buyer whispered to Austin, That's real. He nodded, eyes on Linda. Later, in the boardroom, Angela sat, pale. A manager beside Austin spoke. System tampering traced to your account, Angela. She stuttered. A mistake. A costly one, the manager said. Austin faced her. You're demoted, effective now. Angela was speechless. Linda stood aside, silent. She hadn't sought revenge, just did her work. Linda, Austin said, great job. You've made us proud. Her heart raced. Angela, seething, muttered, She's not better than me. I'll ruin her. Her silence turned to war. Meanwhile, the Joseph mansion felt lighter. Linda's presence brought laughter to silent rooms, her cooking scent and Wendy's giggles filling the halls. Papa Joseph improved. Clearer speech, fewer memory lapses, reading papers again. This woman brought life back, he'd say, pointing at Linda. He and Wendy played checkers daily. He let her win, unnoticed. One Saturday, Wendy sat on Austin's lap, showing family drawings, her in the middle, Linda and Austin beside. That's you, Daddy, she said, pointing to his stick figure. He paused. Daddy. She nodded. You're my only daddy, and I like you. Warmth stirred in him. He glanced at Linda, folding laundry. Could Wendy be his? The pendant, the timelines, Linda's familiarity. He couldn't ignore it. That evening, with Wendy napping, he found Linda on the balcony. Can I ask something personal? She nodded. Wendy's father. Do you know where he is? Her hand froze. No, she said quietly. Long ago, a confusing night. I don't recall much, and I'd rather not talk about it. He didn't push, but questions swirled. Peace broke when Michael appeared at AJ Enterprises, desperate. Linda, I need $500,000 for a debt. She crossed her arms. You took my money for someone else's house. His face hardened. You know what I've done for you? She stared. 3 years I stood by you. You betrayed me, lied, humiliated me, and now you ask for more. He stepped closer. Truth? I was never marrying you. Who'd marry a woman with another man's kid? Her eyes held steady. Wendy, overhearing, rushed between them. Don't bully my mommy, she yelled fist tight. Michael blinked. Wendy, inside, Linda said softly. But Wendy stood firm. You don't deserve her. She's mine. Go away. He scoffed, brat. Linda touched Wendy's shoulder. We're done, Michael. Forever. He walked away, no apology. Linda knelt, brushing Wendy's hair. Thank you, my brave girl. Wendy looked up. I don't like you sad, Mommy. Linda hugged her, strong despite the pain. The next week, Linda, with Wendy and documents, applied for Starlight Academy. The principal, Mr. Roberts, skimmed her papers, irritated. No referral letter. Linda shook her head. Her scores are excellent. He muttered, We'll get back to you. She frowned. There's space, right? She's qualified. He smiled stiffly. This school prioritizes certain backgrounds. She gathered the papers and left, gripping Wendy's hand. That afternoon, Austin found her in the garden distant. She explained. His face darkened. He made a call. Next morning, Robert's secretary rushed in. AJ Enterprises called. The CEO says we mishandled an application and might lose funding. Roberts paled. Her name? Linda Johnson. He dialed her. Miss Johnson, a misunderstanding. We'd love to meet Wendy. Full admission. But drama lingered. A student's TikTok caught Roberts and Angela in a hushed talk. I did what you asked, Roberts said, hiding an envelope. Make sure she doesn't get in, Angela replied. The clip went viral. Starlight trended. Hashtag Bribegate. Hashtag Angela exposed. Roberts resigned. Angela vanished from work. At AJ Enterprises, whispers stopped. People nodded at Linda. Some smiled. She won without fighting. Angela's life crumbled. Scandal public. Reputation gone. She hid, but knew her time was up. That Saturday, at the Joseph Mansion, Linda helped Papa Joseph in the garden while Wendy giggled, braiding flowers. Angela burst in, furious. You think you've won? Linda stepped between her and Papa Joseph. You shouldn't be here. Spare me, Angela snapped. You ruined me. You did that yourself, Linda said calmly. Angela turned to Papa Joseph. Leave, young lady, he said. She shoved him. Linda caught him, gasping. Papa, you okay? I'm fine, he said. Austin ran out, seeing Angela. What are you doing here? He demanded. She panicked. I was explaining. You assaulted my grandfather. You're fired. Come near us again, and I'll have you arrested. Security escorted her out. Linda helped Papa Joseph inside. She's special, he whispered. Austin nodded, heavy with the moment. That night, in his study, Austin watched restored CCTV from 7 years ago. A woman's hand, a blanket. It was Linda. Shock, relief hit him. Did she know? Should I tell her? He decided tomorrow. Next morning, he held a DNA test envelope. It confirmed Wendy was his 99.9%. That evening, he found Linda in the kitchen. Can we talk? She followed him to the sitting room. He handed her the paper. She read it, tears brimming. 7 years ago, she began, you were drugged, scared, in the lounge where I worked. I helped you to a room. You held my hand, trembling. I gave you my first night to comfort you. She laughed painfully. I didn't know you. You left, and I found out I was pregnant. Austin's throat tightened. You saved me, not just Papa, but me. She wiped a tear. I was ashamed, not of Wendy, but of not knowing her father's story. He moved closer. You don't have to explain now. I know. Papa Joseph, with Wendy, smiled from the doorway. I knew it, he said. No more pretending. You love her. She loves you. Wendy deserves real love. 2 days later, in the mansion's garden, a simple wedding unfolded. Papa Joseph grinned when he held the rings. You're really married now, she said. Austin and Linda said, I do, with tears and smiles. No contracts, just love. Wendy hummed, Here Comes the Bride daily. Papa Joseph called Linda daughter. Peace settled until Michael, drunk, shouted at the gate, You don't deserve this. Austin faced him. She was better before me. Michael was removed. At AJ Enterprises, Linda's name shone as lead designer. Her line, Humble Grace, launched barefoot models, earthy colors, a tribute to working women. Headlines hit. Angela arrested for fraud, linked to Roberts. Vanessa left Michael, refusing his child. He blamed Linda, tried to attack her, but guards stopped him. At a women's event, Linda spoke. I grew up with courage, not wealth. Speak up. Your story matters. Wendy won at Starlight Science Fair. At AJ's conference, Austin declared Linda his wife, Wendy his heir. Linda's studio opened, her brand soared. She and Wendy launched the Noodle Heart Project for single mothers. At home, around a table with noodles, Austin whispered, I married you for love. Linda smiled. I served noodles, and you gave me the world. A single act of kindness became their forever.